thinking about cloud computing, which I know is one of your specialities as well. And this is also into deployment tools somehow. And let me start with a question basically saying there are different ways to describe why cloud computing is useful. You can say, I don't want to manage my own hardware. I want to focus on the application or the service I'm providing. And you can basically outsource or let someone else, like a cloud provider, do that for you. And then you can continue that step or that kind of tech stack saying, I don't want to manage the operating system either, so let's have containers instead. You can continue saying, I don't want to manage the whole scheduling of the application, let's just have cloud functions or something. What's your view of the future of cloud computing? Do you think that's the proper way to move as a company that wants to really have, like, let's say the next Spotify in some way? Do you think cloud computing in that way is the right thing to just extract?
So, yeah. I think so because of the efficiencies that are in the cloud. There's no way you can run your own data center that efficiently. That's one thing. And then, the thing that I resent a little bit, I suppose, is these container solutions that I prefer are not the ones that are available as managed services in the cloud.
Which one is that, by the way?
Well, I mean, if I want to run a Singularity, for example, I'm going to have to run Docker with Kubernetes, or I think Azure had Mesos for a while. I don't know if they still have it with their, Microsoft had a managed DCOS thing. Now that's gone as well. So you sort of have to pick what the cloud has, but I think sometime in the very near future, it's all going to go over to managed functions. And hopefully that's going to make things a lot nicer.
And what do you mean with managed functions?
Well, it was funny. When I started at Microsoft, Azure was brand new. And the only thing you could do on Azure was run .NET code. I just thought that was such a cool idea because Microsoft was different than Java. You had 5 languages and they all compiled to .NET, whereas Java had one language and it compiled to many platforms. But I was thinking then, like, okay, cool. No matter what language you program on, you can just throw it in the cloud and it'll run. I like that idea. But then they didn't have virtual machines and Amazon had that. And so that everybody wanted virtual machines. But now it's becoming more obvious that nobody wants to actually manage machines and hard drives and all that kind of stuff. And we're going back to the sort of abstract compute fabric. I like that a lot because I don't care if they are less efficient than me. So one message queue software that I really want to give a shout out to is Red Panda. Red Panda is a C++ version of Kafka. It's much better. It's like Scylla is a C++ version of Cassandra. Much better. Anyway,
I love this.
I don't know how the message bus in Azure is, what they use in the background, but I don't care because I'm paying for ultimate uptime and, they can run it however they want.
Because really, we're here for business value, right?
Yes,
and ultimately, we're here for then the real code, not to manage infrastructure.
Yeah.
The whole idea with cloud was to get out of that.
Yeah.
I get it. I think I follow your idea. Is this the way it's going? Is that the logical trend now? So it will be going back to the fabric.
I think that's the trend. And I think you really have to... I think when you're a startup, you can, for a short while, when nothing is important, when security is not important, when the ability to reshuffle your infrastructure is not important, and when 5 nines of uptime is not important, go buy a workstation and do it on your workstation.
But it's to get going, yeah?
Yeah. I mean, but pretty quickly, as soon as the other stuff is important, like, for example, I want to expand my hard drives. Go buy one at Webhallen and plug it into your machine. You're going to do that? Or call one of your vendors and they're like, yeah, I'll be there in 5 weeks. Yeah, nobody has time for that.
Yeah, the cost of managing all the infrastructure and the hardware, etc., is something that I think everyone is underestimating.
For sure.
Completely.
Yeah.
TCO.
So the ultimate goal in the end, would that be to have managed Julia functions in the cloud?
Yeah, we've been working really hard now because Microsoft has this thing called machine learning. They have machine learning, everything's machine learning studio and something else. But anyways, like a managed pipeline for machine learning stuff. And you can't run Julia stuff really easily because the way to get telemetry out and the way to invoke it is via Python. So we have to run Julia and then run PyCall to run the Python stuff.
Not elegant.
Yeah,
not elegant.
one day they'll get there when Julia is big.
Cool.
That'll happen right after FreeBSD is big.
Well, Mac OS is big, right? So FreeBSD is kind of, even though I know it's an Apple thing. So yes, it's let's skip that discussion.
Let's skip that discussion. I love it. This is a cool theme, actually, and there is more to explore here. But because I think it's also quite okay. So to wrap up this theme, so what does this mean in terms of strategy for enterprise? I mean, like if we boil it down now, so let's say Vattenfall or Scania or someone like that who is now trying and understanding their cloud journey. Yeah. How should they think? So if with the knowledge of these trends and with the knowledge of how it really works, should they stay cloud native as far as possible? Should they embrace open source like hell? What do you think with your knowledge that you think is the pragmatic way to go? Also giving the fact that they are not rocket scientists or computer scientists,
right?
The whole bunch.
I think the trend of the cloud is undeniable. So that there's no question about that. It's not even, I'm not even sure why people would question that at this point.
Let me challenge that question or that point, because I agree with you in the functionality and the speed that you can quickly get the service out there deployed properly is undeniable. But the big problem is that we don't have any Swedish or European kind of cloud providers today. And perhaps there are some other concerns, like ethical concerns or legal concerns in being able to use American or Chinese cloud providers.
Oh, now we have then we can take a newsworthy comment into it. The whole shield discussion. Well, the whole. Are you into it?
I'm too busy trying to make the world a better place than to focus on politics.
Yeah, but all of a sudden, in the public sector, it's been a big controversy or whatever you want to call it.
Did you hear the philosophical kind of statement you just made? That's actually okay.
I missed it.
Okay. Anyway, sorry.
Well,
continue.
The thing is about these privacy concerns. I can't really speak from like a political perspective in terms of the reliability. I do know that all the cloud providers, especially Amazon and Microsoft, have gone really above and beyond to try to make sure that they can vouch for, how reliable and trustworthy their European cloud centers are.
I think this is all politics because it's naive to think that you can run something more reliable and more secure than they can.
I mean also from a sort of a trust perspective. They have these processes in place where you can go and check out the data centers and make sure that they are the way they promise that they are. Like there are these ISO processes that they've really gone above and beyond to make sure that they fulfill all the criteria for governments and that kind of thing. So
it's segmenting a bit into something that I would love that we had time for, which is you have an American background, we have US, we have Trump, we have NSA, we have whatnot. And but perhaps we should wait with that discussion.
But you wrap this up then, because I think the final part of the whole we were going in deep on programming and then expanding on the environment around this, and the wrap up conclusion question was, how do I think as a normal company? All that knowledge. What is your advice to a normal company coming into, go cloud and stuff like that? And just wrapping that up.
I can only give technical advice. And what I would say is if you're a hospital or something else where you have, or a military agency, there are cool techniques like homomorphic encryption and that kind of stuff that you could be using. So I feel like we can solve nearly any objection with technology.
Yep.
Awesome. I love solving ethical dilemmas with technology.
Yeah.
I think instead of doing the opposite, which is, regulating away technology, let's try to use technology to actually solve ethical and legal problems that we have.
Yeah.
I think that's an awesome kind of comment.
Maybe that's the wrap up comment then.
Yeah.
And let's take the next one.